Morning, everybody. Welcome back to our channel and welcome back to another video. So you guys, this is a budget video, but it's our summer budget. So if you're new around here, my name's Shakema. Hey, y'all. How y'all doing? I'm a single mom. I have 4 children. I have 2 girls, Alana and Shamika. I have 2 boys, Trandon and Jackson. I have 1 fur dog. Her name is Gracie. And I have 4 fur granddogs. They're all boys. We have Acro. Acro's living at our house while Shamika is in school out in California. Brownie, my son's first dog, actually sadly passed away last year. Trandon rescued a 10-year-old pit, and he had some health issues. So they gave him a good 3 months, the last 3 months of his life. He was spoiled. He was pretty much just pampered and loved on and all of those types of things until he passed. And then Trandon and his friend ended up fostering a couple more pits, and they adopted 2 of them. So Hondo and Snoop live with my son. They did live in Florida, but they just moved. They actually moved yesterday. So they are off on life's big adventures. They haven't gotten there yet. They have to drive a very long way to get where they're going. And so I imagine those little pups are sitting in the U-Haul living their best life, or sleeping in the U-Haul living their best life. But anyway, you guys, we do a lot over here as far as budgeting is concerned. Just a little background, if you are new to the channel, my youngest son is 13 years old. When Jackson was about a year old, I started doing the 7 baby steps of debt freedom. And I worked those baby steps for the last 12 years. In 2019, the Lord helped my kids and I become debt free. When I say the Lord helped me, what he did for me was he helped my mind to think numbers, to think budgets, to think pay it off, to think chunk, chunk, chunk. You know, sometimes what we do is we nickel and dime our stuff, right? We have these bills, we paying our regular bills, but we're nickel and diming everything else. And it's like, why are we doing this? And then we have all this interest that we're paying, and we have all this, we're missing payments and we're falling behind. Now, don't hear that as accusatory, because honestly, for the first 10 years, all I did was make minimum payments, probably 9 years. About 3 years ago, when I started doing a ketogenic lifestyle and eating ketogenically, it seemed like my mind just got clear very quickly. And it was like the Lord was saying, Shakema, you got to chunk this. You got to chunk this. Come on now. You got to do it. And so every little bit of extra money I would get, YouTube money, I would get my taxes. And most people are like, I'm not going to give my taxes all to pay bills. I didn't want to pay the interest, right? And now we're seeing, at least in this post-pandemic economy, interest rates are going up. It seems like every month the interest rates are going up to keep us from getting into a worse situation. Although the little guy, right? The little guy, me, us, is getting worse, right? So I didn't want to incur those interest payments. I just did not want to do it. It was like, nope, this is not something that I am willing to do with my life and my money. Right? I want to be able to tell my money where to go, not have my money tell me where it has to go. So we made a decision. We decided to get debt free. So I am a educator by profession. I work from August 15th-ish to like the first week of June. So I'm a 10-month paid employee. I do not work in June or July. So from the second week of June through the second week of August, I do not work. I do not get paid. I do not draw a paycheck. How do you live, Shakema? Is it just off of YouTube? It is not. What I do, my bank actually, for the 10 months that I get paid, they pull out a specific amount every single month. It's $393. They pull that amount out every single month for 10 months. They put it in what's called a summer share account. When summer comes, so the end of June and the end of July, the last working day of the month, they separate the money, and half goes into my checking account for my July budget, and then the other half goes in for my August budget, because I'll get my first paycheck at the end of August, which will be my September budget, right? I hope that made sense to you all that are listening. So when you hear me say things like summer groceries or summer share account, I'm referring to the 2 months that I do not work in the summer. Could I get a part-time job? Sure. Do I want to get a part-time job? I do not. And there are reasons why. I always worked when my kids were little, with the exception of Jack. When my children were little, I worked summer school. I did cheer coaching. I did dance coaching. I did anything we could to make extra money. We were struggling as a family. We were unable to make ends meet. So it was easier for me to get a part-time job at school to help bring in extra money. And we still were struggling. Once I got separated from that situation and was in this situation, I found myself a single parent. And you face a lot of single parent guilt because you work full time and somebody's taking care of your kids. Now, if I go work in the summer, somebody's still taking care of my kids. How was that actually fair to my kids? And I haven't felt like that was the right thing to do for my children. Doesn't mean that's not the right thing to do for somebody else's children. So I'm not telling you not to work. If you got to work, work. For me, fortunately, I found this medium, as in YouTube, that has been paying the children and I for years now. Not a lot, not some, I look at some people and I'm going, whoo, what in the world are they doing to make that much money? Because I don't make that over here. You see what I make. But I do that, and I have a few affiliate links, just a couple. I may get affiliate income. I may not get affiliate income. And then I've just started doing the Facebook Reels in January of this past year. And we've done okay on that. Praise God for every dollar that comes in. Last month was the first month I didn't make anything because I didn't meet the threshold. They now changed it to where you have to meet a $50 threshold in order to be paid out, and I didn't make $50, but that's okay. For this month, my campaign ends July 16th. I seem to be on a good track to make something to make up for last month. So I'll take it. And then, like I said, I do YouTube. So that helps to supplement the income. My ex-husband does pay child support right now. Starting July 1st, he is only paying child support for Jackson. Trandon rolled off of child support when he was 18. He went straight into the military. Alana rolls off child support this month. She graduated last month. She is not going to school. She is working full time. She's still living at home. So that helps her out as far as living expenses. She doesn't have to pay any of that. I pay that. What she does have to pay is her cell phone bill, her dance classes, her gym membership. Those are the 3 bills that she now has incurred becoming 18. I used to pay those. I'm not paying them anymore because I was using child support money to pay it. Now she is 18 and she's working full time. So she works 4 to 5 days a week. So anywhere between 34 and 40 hours, just depending on the week. And she's living at home. So I'm still paying those expenses. In case anybody thinks that I'm still not supporting Alana, just so you know. She has to learn because at some point she is going to move out. So now she has to manage her funds that she has in order to be able to determine if she can move out and when. So in this budget, what I am going to show you is my personal budget sheet, which looks very much the same as my normal monthly budgets. There are a couple of exceptions. I have added in, you'll see where it'll say summer share deposit instead of monthly payroll deposit, right? Because there's no payroll, but it'll be in the same space. I've added in a couple of sinking funds that I'm trying to start for next year, or just these are not time specific, but I put them in just because I wanted them to be there so that I can start earning towards that. And then you will see tithing. For the summer, I do not tithe anything because I tithe my salary in the 10 months that I work. So I don't spread my tithe out over 12 months. I just tithe in the 10 months that I work, and that's the money that I put in. So Shakema, they take money out of your paycheck for the summer months. Why don't you tithe off that money? Because I tithe my entire salary off of my gross income. I tithe off the gross. I don't tithe off the net. And I know some people do it differently. Every dollar that comes through my hands, every physical dollar that comes through my hands, through a CashApp, a PayPal, whatever, every dollar we tithe off in addition to my monthly payroll. So I've already tithed my income over the 10 months. So anything I give in the summer is an offering, but I don't have it on my budget sheet as a budgeted category because I've already tithed, right? So I make about $1,000 less. I bring my deposit is about $1,000 less than I bring home each month that I work. But I take out for that. How do I make up for it? Tithe is about half of that, and then grocery money. I don't have grocery money in the summer. So what do I do to feed my kids in the summer? So each month you see me do my groceries, and I pull out $75 and put it into my summer grocery fund. About 2 years ago, the Lord told me to start pulling because we were struggling trying to figure out how we were going to eat in the summer because I'm about $1,000 less. That's grocery money and my tithe. So the Lord said, pull out. The first year we did $50. So the first year was $50. And that ended up being $500 in 10 months that I saved. And I had $50 a week for groceries. 2 years ago, that worked. This year, that's not going to work. So this past year, the Lord said, take out 75. So I was thinking, okay, $75. Well, we started into this inflation, right? So I've taken out $750 for the whole 10 months I worked for $75 for 10 weeks of groceries. Will that be enough? Probably not. However, how I'm going to supplement is I have meat in my deep freeze. I have a pantry in my garage, and I also have an in-house pantry, a couple places where I have food. So we're going to utilize our pantry in the summer, and we're going to just use our $75 to fill in, right? Those will not be full grocery hauls. They'll just be fill-in hauls. Fill in whatever it is we need. There's no prepping in the summer because I don't have summer prep money. That's just, how it is. We live off of what we have and what God has provided. And my kids and I do very well. Honestly, we do. For anybody who thinks that we're missing any meals, trust me, we are not missing anything. We get what we can. And if we can't, then we just move further along. It's just no problem. We won't go without. We'll just become creative in our cooking. And I'm okay with that. Now, in addition to that, I know in the last budget update, I talked a little bit about my child support and how my ex-husband had gotten sick and he wasn't working, but we did get the last 2 payments of June. Somewhere in my spirit, I'm feeling like July might not be the same. Like we may not get weekly deposits, right? Because something is a little bit off, but I'm not worried about it. He has a court order to pay child support. This is not a me and him, we sat down and came up with it. That would have been my preference. He didn't choose that preference, so we went to court. He has a court order by the state of North Carolina to pay, and he has to work that out. So what I'm going to do, I front load all of my bills. I pay all of my stuff up front. And then when child support comes in, then I can pull out extra grocery money, extra gas money. I need to put savings for the kids, or I need to do homeschool stuff. Whatever I need to do, I pull it out as it comes in, but I always front load my bills. So a lot of you never see me put in a category for kids deposits or child support. I don't count that as a definite, right? If you do count it as a definite, that's fine, but I don't want to run short. So I only count on what I bring in. I don't even put YouTube income in here until it comes, because my numbers may be different than what I'm thinking. Last month we were $100 shorter than this month. And then the month before that, we were $100 more. So I never want to go with the guesstimated on income that I can't count on. I can count on my income. I'm salary. I know what it's going to be every single month. So I count that and I live that best life. Is that the best solution for everybody? Probably not, but it works for me. Now, with that being said, I'm going to show you my budget, but I'm also going to update you on some of my sinking funds because we had to make some shifts this month. So about 3 days ago, we were sitting in the house and the kids were in the kitchen. They were cooking and I thought they were burning something and I kept smelling. I mean, I was working at the desk and that smell hit me so hard, it jarred me. I got up. I'm like, what are y'all burning in here? And I'm sniffing. I have a very sensitive sniffer. I cannot do smells. And, you know, this is me. What is going on? I'm probably Wolverine or something. What is happening? And we didn't see anything, but the smell was just linger. Well, the next day I was cleaning in the kitchen and the Lord said, pull your refrigerator out so you can clean back there. I looked underneath, you know, sometimes because we have dogs and dogs just have hair. We've had acro de-shed, we brushed the dogs, but you're just going to have dog hair. So I was looking under the grate and there was like some lint and stuff trapped in there. So I pulled it off and I said, well, let me get under here. And I'm looking underneath there and there's a lot of exhaust and all this other stuff. And I'm smelling and I still can't figure out that burning smell. Nothing's cooking. And Jackson says, but Mom, look over there where the drip pan was under the bottom. And I put my hand in there. I got the flashlight, right? Put my hand in there. And there's like burnt pieces of something. And there was a big chunk of something burned under there. So I'm like, oh, this is not good. So we unplug the fridge, we pull it out. And of course, underneath of it in the back, it's just really black and all the things back where the exhaust is at the bottom. The wall is fine. The house is fine. Everything is good. But I knew something wasn't right. And previous to that, I had put my hand in the fridge and it just didn't feel like it was cooling. So I noticed that it was on the cold setting, not even the recommended or the coldest. So I changed the setting. I said, well, maybe that's a problem. This is before I pull the fridge out. This is the day before. Nothing. So I go back in again and I'm looking in the fridge. Even on the coldest setting, it's not cold. So long story short, my fridge needs to be replaced. I called a repair place. It's going to cost the man $100+ to just come over the threshold, which he has to take the payment immediately because I guess people are flim-flammers and shysters, and so they don't know if they're going to get paid. Whatever, lady, it's fine. And then she's like, well, that doesn't count parts or labor. Okay. By the time I pay for a new part, depending on what the part is, and labor, depending on what he has to do, because I've had that fridge for 6 years, I may as well buy a new refrigerator, right? I don't want to pay for a repair on an old product that's going to cost me the same as a new one. So what I did was I canceled the repair because I had initially done the repair. I said, okay, she couldn't get me till next week anyway. So I said, well, that's a whole nother week. I can't afford to be without a fridge for a week. So I said, well, no worries. Let me go at Lowe's. I was out with the kids. I said, let me just go to Lowe's. Found a refrigerator. The price, the gentleman didn't want to give me the price on the ticket. He wanted to charge me more. I said, no, that's not what I want to do. It's on this ticket for this price, and I'm going to need it for this price. So we worked all of that out. Well, the sticker said they could deliver it Thursday, which was yesterday. He said he could get it to me Friday, which is today. So I should be expecting my call to come in. Hey, we're going to be here between this and this. Well, I didn't get a call yesterday. So last night about 9:30, 10, I'm calling this number to say, hey, just checking to see when my fridge is coming. Oh, you have an estimated delivery date of Sunday, July the 3rd. No, that's not what we talked about. So I got somebody on the phone. He's like, ma'am, did you order online? No, sir, I came in. Your gentleman told me he'd get it to me Friday. He says, well, did he say it was here? I said, yes, he went in the back. He said they have it in the store. He put me in. It was supposed to be here. So they're supposedly to have overrode that computer issue, and it's supposed to be here today. We pray. But in order for me to get the fridge, I would have had to either take a lot of money out of my baby step, or I had to liquidate some of my sinking funds. And so what I chose to do was liquidate some of my sinking funds. So I liquidated, which meant took the money out of my new computer fund, because Alana has a computer that I can use. I have a computer. The leg is broke, so I can't close it. So if I have to travel, I can't take that computer with me anywhere because I can't close it. But Alana is done with homeschool, and she still has a decent computer that I can use. So I said, okay, that $200 and some I can move over. I had $181 in my oil change fund. I still have an oil change that I will get for free when I take my car in this next time. So I moved $100 from there. I had some money. I just started a vacation fund. I moved some money from there. Where else did I move money from? It wasn't things that were coming due like my PureFlix or my P.O. box. It wasn't things that had specific due dates for. It was just funds that I was funding to keep in there, to keep going, as you know, and I would spend those funds as the money came in. And then I did take some out of my baby step number 3 to pay for the refridge. But it's paid for in cash, all done, no interest, no anything, just when can they get it to me, right? So with that being said, it's one of the things that I talk about a lot on the channel. Get out of debt, because you can move easier when you are not concerned about paying this versus paying that. I can't imagine the pressure that people are feeling in this world we're living in this economy that we're living in right now. Rents are going up. My son moved because of the rent. It wasn't because he didn't like where he lived. He loved where he lived. But the rent, it was going up again. So they're moving into a house now with a yard for about what they were paying for in an apartment, and they'll be able to run the dogs. So you see what I'm saying? It just, people are feeling the pressure, and he actually is living with a roommate and not by himself, because you got to pool it together. Alana's staying at home because living by herself is not feasible right now. She does have a friend, and they've talked about roommating together, but it's still going to be a couple of years from now. And I'm saving for the kids. She's saving for herself. But we've got to move differently with our budgets so that we have more fluidity to move. Do I feel a little bit of something because those sinking funds now have little bits of money in them? I do, but the money was there, and I was able to use it. Last year, Gracie got sick, and I had to take money out of my taxes fund to take her to the vet and the emergency vet and all the x-rays. I didn't have to take the money out of there this time, which made me feel so amazing. Like, okay, God, you're really helping me do this. So it's done, right? It's already done. I didn't ask anybody. I didn't call anybody. I didn't get on the phone with my ex-husband and say, the kids and the fridge is gone out and I didn't do any of that, right? Not saying in the past, I haven't had to call him and say, hey, listen, this is where we are. But I didn't have a sob story this time. I had a sinking fund. Right? I know it's hard for certain people when you only make a little bit of money. I know it's hard when you only can do X, Y, and Z things. I'm not saying compared to Shakema, I'm saying do what you can. I work from home. People say, well, you can go out and get a second job. I work a second job from home. I do things. Somebody texted me this morning and said, can you be in prayer with me about finding clients and income sources? I can, and I agree with whatever your prayer is, but I do things from my house that produce income for my family. Is it a lot of income? It's not. But does it help some places? It does, right? So I don't have to spend gas to go out. The Lord blessed me. He blessed me. He blessed me. Listen to me. He blessed me. He brought me home, right? I used to work far from my house. The drive was a lot. My closest school was over 30 minutes from my house. I'm going to be working 6 minutes from my house. So that's going to save my gas budget. I have to have gas for the summer, but starting in September, when I'm driving to my closest school, which is 6 minutes, my farthest school is 25 minutes, 22 and a half, depending. I'm going to save all that gas. I was driving an hour to my farthest school. That was one way. I was driving 25 minutes just to my office, which was at a different school than my other schools. So God has blessed me so many ways and all the way around. I've been able to figure it out. I found the grocery deals I can find. We have 10 whole chickens in our freezer. If I do one whole chicken a week, I've already covered my 10 weeks. One whole chicken can feed my kids at least 2 meals. or maybe more, just depending on which cuts of meat I use for the meal, right? So we've got some different, there are always things I can be thankful for. Probably way more than you wanted to hear at this point. You want to see the numbers. So we're going to jump in to this budget and kind of see where we are and how things are looking and shaping up for the month of July. Alrighty, you guys. So here we are. Here is our budget sheet for the month. Um, Here's what we're looking at as far as July is concerned. So again, I'm using my MYMT personal budget sheet that I always use. Nothing changes except the category name. So right here where it says summer share, that usually says monthly payroll deposit. But since I don't have a payroll deposit, this is what I'm using for a heading for that particular category. So I have the column A are all of my categories. Column B is what I think things are going to cost me. Column C is my actual. Now, column C is connected to the weeklies. So at the bottom where you see week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, week 5, that actually, when I put money in those weeklies, it calculates for me in column C. So I never have to do any numbers. I never have to put anything in. It all calculates, it's self-calculating in column C. So I leave my budgeted column as far as income out. I do know that I have summer share money coming in. I actually put that number in. It was $1,965 is what was dumped into my account on June the 30th. Kids support, I don't even know what the new number is going to be. I don't know if the same number is going to stay. Alana did roll off. I don't know if he's petitioned for a decrease in payments. I don't know anything because I haven't received anything from child support saying any of that. The only thing I received is Alana's turning 18. When does she graduate? So I got that letter. I sent it in. No problem. One Mom revenue or affiliate links. I do have several affiliate links. They're always in the description box of every video, and it does say affiliate link. I make a little bit off of if you use a link or something that I have. I know several of you have purchased from the Smile Brilliant. They have a threshold to reach as well, so I have not been paid out from them because I haven't reached the threshold. That's okay. The money's still there, right? It'll come in when it's supposed to. Um, One Mom revenue does come in once a month. That's usually around the 22nd, 23rd-ish of the month. Facebook Reels usually rolls in about the 20th of the month, somewhere 20th, 21st is right there with the YouTube income. But last month, we didn't make anything from Facebook. This month, I have made 2 challenges already, and then I'm working on the 3rd challenge. My prayer is in the next 15 days, I'll make that 3rd challenge because that would definitely be a blessing to my family. Travel reimbursements. I am going on a business trip this month and I will claim or file for reimbursements. They didn't have a car for me, so I'll get to drive my own vehicle, which they'll pay me gas because there was no county vehicle available. I don't mind driving a county vehicle, saves wear and tear on my car, and I can fill up at gas at the school and then refill it when I bring the car back. But they didn't have any available cars. So I will get gas. They will reimburse my meals. They've already paid my registration and for my hotel room. But I won't get anything back until August when I get back from that trip. It's not because of just by the time I turn everything in and people are off for the summer and that type of thing. So it'll be August before that comes in, about a 30-day turnaround time. Unexpected gifts, blessings, fund transfer. I don't have anything for that category at the moment. I'm going to pop us down to living expenses. So I have my household, right? So right now I have my mortgage at 978. I am still going to try to put something in for escrow because I'm still trying to make up that $2,000 for escrow. I paid 190 this past month in June, so that's about a tenth of the way. If I could get way more to that escrow, that would be so beautiful. But I'm going to just take it each thing at a time. If I did $200 every month until the end of the year, that would be 1,200. So I'd have to do more than 200 because I don't have 10 months. I only have 6 more months. 300. about $300 each month towards the escrow would get me done. That would pay for it, and all would be well. All right. And so our heating and electric is 126. That was up from last month. Water was about $84. That was up too. Cell phone, I'll do my cell phone. Internet is 70. My cell phone is 70. I have insurance on my cell phone. Shamika doesn't have it on hers. Alana has it on hers just in case anything happens. I just wanted to make sure it was insured. That's why it's a little bit higher. But I was paying way more, about $60 more than that when I had the old plan. Um, Internet 75, household repairs $50. That is a sinking fund. That'll come out of YouTube income. Mr. Jerome, oh, that needs to say 110. Sorry. 55 per cut. I don't think he's coming this week. He probably will come next week. So he's off a little bit on his schedule, but that's okay. Mr. Jerome gets my grass cut, and I don't have to cut it. Regular payments for my Roth IRA is $75. Amazon Prime, $13. That is a sinking fund. PureFlix is $10. That's a sinking fund. Healthways, now you only see $25, which is what I pay for my gym. Alana's gym is $29. She's going to have to pay that. She'll have to pick up her gym membership. Taekwondo for Jackson is $169. Taxes, I leave that open. Homeschool, I leave that open because we are in a summer month, right? So I usually save everything I need for Jackson's homeschool curriculum over the 10 months that I work. I just pull money out each month that his dad sends, and then we have his homeschool curriculum all paid for. I used to do it backwards and just try to figure out the money. So I stopped doing that. Now I just put a certain amount aside every month. It's already in the account. We live our best life. The new camera, I'm restarting that fund again with $20 because I had to liquidate that fund in order to help pay for the refrigerator. Business expenses, $31. That pays for my Canva, and that also pays for my meeting space, right? So I have meeting spaces. I think I have 2 meeting spaces. I have a First Love Ministries meeting space, and I also have a One Mom meeting space for members where we do our membership meetings. Members, if you, I'm going to put in, I'm going to go ahead and pre-schedule all our meetings for for the rest of the year. So you should see those emails coming in, funneling into you. Those will be the links for every time. So I'm not doing them every single month. I'm just going to schedule them. If you can make them, that's perfect. If not, we'll record. So for any members that can't make the meetings, we'll record them if you're unable, and you'll be able to. There'll be a budget meeting and there'll be a self-care meeting. I'm putting those back in. So that's what the business expenses are for. Moving down, for food expenses, you don't see any grocery money there except for monthly preps. Preferably, we'll get some child support, and I'll still try to be able to do preps. I just put it in, but I can't promise because I'm only doing $75 a week, which I was able to save for the 10 months that I worked. And that's going to just be for filling groceries for what the kids and I need here, and we can't go over. Personal care expense, I put in $25 for Jackson to get a haircut. Now, I do have my hair different, but even when it's in a relaxer, I can still wear it curly. So I didn't put in hair care money for me this month. I just didn't put it in. I guess I could have, but Jackson can get a haircut. I can wash my hair, put in some leave-in conditioner, be curly, and go about my life. But I'm in a growing it out pattern, and so it's a lot longer than what it normally is, and this just works better for the longer hair. My P.O. box is $13. Next, moving down, this is where I made a new sinking fund for vacations. Just want to be able to take my kids on vacation, and I just have to save for it. So $50 per month, but I did take out the last vacation money that I put in, the first money to go for the refrigerator, right? It's just what it is. Miscellaneous savings for Jackson, I just have $100 in here now. You don't see any money saved for sister because sister is 18. So she funnels off child support. I'm saving for Jack. Down, we have Gracie. She gets $40. She is a sinking fund. So the main expense I have for Grace is her She and Acro share. So 1 month I buy a bag of food, 1 month Shamika buys a bag of food. So this past month, Well, at the end of the month, it was Shamika's turn. So she purchased a bag of food. Well, I purchased it. She just sent the money for it. I went and picked it up. Well, she texted me the other day that Chewy was going to send another bag of food. So the dogs will have 2 bags of food, which means I have to pick up in 2 more months. I'll do the bag of food. That was just she didn't mean to have it shipped, but it shipped anyway. So there's nothing you can do. It already shipped out. They just have one because they're at the end of the bag I bought. And then we have the bag that Shamika sent me the money for. And then a bag is on its way from Chewy. So anywho, they'll be in dog food for the next 2 months at least. So we'll be fine. We have it stored where it won't go bad. It's all good. And I'd rather have it than not have it. So I think we're going to be okay. Moving down to my transportation expenses, $250 will be for gas. That'll be $50 each week. I'm just driving local, so that should be pretty good. Bolstering back up my oil fund. I'm at my oil change sinking fund. I'm going to put $20 in there, and I'm also going to put $50 in the tire replacement fund. My tires are decent. I'm good. They get rotated when I get an oil change, and I should be okay for a bit longer. My license and registration, taxes, all of that, car insurance, $92. Moving down, here's where you're going to see some differences. There's no tithe being allocated for because I don't pay tithe in the summer. $30 to St. Michael Hope Ministry. That will be done via Cash App. Baby step number 3, I do want to save for that, but I didn't put it in because I'm having to work backwards now by going in trying to get those sinking funds built back up, as well as paying for the escrow. So I'm just going to leave it blank for right now. If I'm able to save, that works out perfectly. And if I'm not going to worry about it. That gives us a total expense of $2,531. And of course, at this point, I've brought in $1,965. That is the difference of about $600-ish, right? And that has to be made up somewhere. We should be perfectly fine by the time my YouTube rolls in and the Facebook Reels roll in. And then if Dad sends, we'll be like things will be great. We'll be able to pay back some more of the escrow. I'll be able to put back some more of the sinking funds because we don't have any additional summer things going on. Anything the kids need, we're doing. Mom is here. So there's no summer camps or anything like that. So we're going to be perfect with doing all of the things that need to be done here at home. Other than that, I think that's pretty much how we're looking at the budget, barring any unforeseeables, right? I am having some issues with my dishwasher. Oh, my household repairs. That was where I took the other additional money from. I had money in a household repair fund. I had money in my new laptop fund, and then I took some out of the oil change and from the vacation. But I did have money in my household repair fund. So I took that money to put towards the refrigerator. So just trying to figure out how I worked it all out. I had it all worked out when I was in the store trying to get it all taken care of. And I simply just moved those funds from my Capital One 360 savings account into my Capital One 360 checking account. I used my debit card and I was able to make a majority payment. And then I took some out of my baby step number 3, which is in a separate state employees credit union account, and I paid the rest. So they did let me split my payment. So the majority of that came out of my Capital One 360. So that's where I took it from. So I'm just going to keep building those funds back up. As we don't need to have anything fixed, the funds build themselves. So I'm thankful to be able to have those funds to pull from when I need to. Alrighty, you guys. So there it is. Those are the numbers, how they wrap up for us for the beginning of July. We seem to be pretty decent. I'm not stressed out over my sinking funds. I'm not going to worry about it. The money was there. Praise God. There would have been times where I would have had to call my sister and say, hey, this is where we are. Can you help me out? As it is right now, I may have to take some food over to her house and put it in her freezer because I'm still not heard from my refrigerator. I'm going to call in just a sec to see where we are on that. But I didn't have to call her and say, hey, do you have $1,000 I can borrow to buy a refrigerator? I didn't have that makes not make me proud in a sense of I'm bragging. Can I say this to the mom or dad, whoever is watching this? And I want to say this the best way I know how to say it. And I already feel myself getting emotional. I wasn't always in this place. Y'all, I wasn't. There were many days and nights I cried myself to sleep. God, how am I going to do this? How am I going to feed these kids? How am I going to pay for this? My car is acting crazy. God, I don't, all the things. And every single thing, God was like, do this, do this, do this, do this. When I tell people God has blessed me, people think I mean material things. I don't mean that materialistically. The best thing God ever gave me was my mind to get right on how to think about doing stuff, and peace. My mind and peace. He said, let this mind be in you, which is also in Christ Jesus. Christ didn't worry about nothing. Nothing he worried about. And he lived in perpetual peace. And not only did he live in perpetual peace, but when he ascended, he said, I'm going to leave you, but I'm going to send you a comforter that's going to be with you when I am not able to be with you. And he'll bring his comfort and his peace. He doesn't just give us peace. He gives us peace, which is double peace. He gives us a peace that can't even be explained. Like, girl, everything is going crazy in your life. Why you don't seem to be bothered? Because peace. More than money, more than anything, peace is what God has gifted me with that I appreciate more than anything else. So let me say this. It's been 12 years, 12 that we've been on this journey. 12. That's it. We've been working it. And for the first 8 or 9, we was just barely doing anything. These last couple years, we've been like gazelle. I didn't even understand what gazelle intense meant until I got on the last couple of things. Gazelle, intense. Get after it, Shakema. Why? Because this time was coming. This time was coming. And if I hadn't gotten gazelle intense then, I would be struggling right now and I wouldn't have peace. And that's what God wants me to have. I believe that. He wants me to have peace and I want to have it. So I'm going to have it. When it comes to this peace, I'm going to have it. Does that make sense? That's just from a reel. I'm just going to have peace in my life because I'm going to do the things I need to do. I'm going to curve my spending. I'm going to curve my spending. I'm going to continue to look at my accounts to see where I can shave. I'm going to say no to myself and not get that thing. I had a pair of tennis shoes, one of my favorite pair of tennis shoes, break the other day. I've been walking, y'all. I've been walking. So I don't know if it's dry rot or what, but they broke. And I was like, dang, my tennis shoes are broken. But a friend of mine has a ton of tennis shoes. And she always says, Shakema, if you need any, just let us know. Through a happenstance, they got a whole bunch of them. And some of them aren't the sizes that they need. And some of them are the sizes I need. So she's like, if you need a pair of shoes, just call me and I'll put them out on the porch or something. You can come by and pick them up. So I was like, okay, nope, I'm not going to stress over that. We got some stuff coming up with Jackson that he's going to need some funds for. Not stressing out over that. It's going to all work out the way it's supposed to work out. Why? Because I have peace about it and God's already established it. It's already done. I'm just seeing it walk itself out, right? I think that's the thing. See, now I'm going to preach. Don't give a preacher a platform because they're going to preach every time. Y'all saw me at Carowinds. I was preaching at Carowinds. Okay. We're told that God has already walked out our life, right? Before we even know what our life is going to be, he already knows it. So all I'm doing now is I'm walking in it as it unfolds and manifests itself. So when I get to a situation, I know that was already what was going to happen. But the answer has already been worked out. When God starts dealing with you about your spending habits, about saying no to your kids don't have to have everything. Listen to me. They don't have to have everything because somebody else has something. You don't have to guilt parent because you didn't do something before. So now you feel like you got to go all outside of your way. If that does not fit for your budget, if that doesn't fit for your present circumstance, then you got to have a courageous conversation with your child or your children or your spouse and say, listen, I understand that this is what we want, but this is where we are. You don't have to give them all your intimate details about your finances, but you do have to tell them to what they can understand. This is not where we can be right now. The other thing is this, for those of us who have had to say no to our children, do not get depressed about your no. It's just a no for now. Later, it can be a yes, but there are free things in your area, your neighborhood. Make things happen. We got this yard out here. Jackson, you want to go run and flip and dip and have a good to go out in this yard. Let me have a backyard party. Why don't I find some of the toys and stuff we got out in the yard, create a couple of stations, invite a few friends over and let the kids play together. We got the grill. I got charcoal. Do all the things. You see what I'm saying? We just got to make it happen. There's a splash pad right across from where I live. If your kids is hot and they want to go to the theme park, take them to the free splash pad. I had the money to take Jackson to Carowinds at the time. Had the refrigerator broke, I wouldn't have went to Carowinds, but fortunately we got that in first. But the splash pad is free. It's just going to cost you to get in your car. When money issues start happening, people tend to get very depressive. And you stay in, you close the curtains, you feel bad, you woe is me, you're cussing yourself out, you're cussing your husband out, everybody know your business, you're posting on Facebook and all life is bad. Don't do that. Do not. Get up, wash your face, take a good shower, put your good hair on, put your good makeup on, and go outside. Live your life, because your finances are not going to be like this forever. Not if you get your mind right. It's a mind thing. I know I only make a little bit of money. I hear you, because I only made a little bit of money. But that little bit, God says when you're faithful with the little, he'll make you Lord and ruler over the much. Stuff comes through my hand that I can't even tell you. And sometimes it's for me and sometimes it's for somebody else. But God would never allow it to come here if I were not a good steward when I didn't have but this much. When I was sitting at my kitchen table, big, fat, and pregnant with Jackson, saying, Lord, how am I going to feed these kids? The first time my ex-husband left me. The first time. I'll tell y'all about the first time. How am I going? How? When I'm on bed rest, how am I going to feed these kids? When I lost half my salary that month for being on bed rest, because he was stressing me the heck out. How, God? And we ate every day. So don't put yourself in that place where, man, right? We're in the summer months. Summer, get outside, get some vitamin D, feel good, do the best you can. Start walking, get your health together, get your endorphins going. Just get you and your kids. If they got bikes and they want to go do something, get them on the bikes and you go walk with them. Do that activity. Talk about all the dreams and plans and goals you had. The kids and I have been talking about fencing in this backyard for a long time. Took almost 5 years, 6 years to get it done. And we didn't have to do it. Every neighbor on the side of us put in a fence. And all we had to do was fill in the front. That was it. Just this little piece and a little, just a couple little fill-in pieces right here on the side. And every other neighbor had a fence up. Something that would have cost me $8,000-$10,000. The Lord already had for us prepared, right? This is the budget, but some people struggle. They go through, Lord, I don't have this. Lord, I don't have that. You don't have to have everything. You don't even have to have it all figured out. You just have to follow the master with the plan. There is a master plan. The master has already put the plan in place. All you got to do is follow. I'm just trying to help us. I'm trying to help us because I'm not there yet, right? I want to go get my nails done. I want to get my hair done, but maybe that ain't in the cards for this month. So Shakema, you just gonna have to work with what you got and pray that it don't grow too much before you can get your nails done the next time, right? I can't. I'm just gonna have to wait. Can I get my hair done this week? Not this week. Gonna have to wash it. Gonna have to wash it. Gonna have to condition it. Gonna have to put your little sweat cap on and go on about your business. Some of y'all got a good wig. Put your good wig on and go do something outside. Listen, okay? Don't allow the enemy to play with you. Well, you can't do this and you can't do this. And then what we do is we'll just go and we'll self-sabotage and just spend whatever because, well, I don't have enough to make the bills anyway. Make the bills you can. Make the bills you can. I recently read a story about these single moms that they found themselves in a situation where they were unable to live on their own. So some type of way, they bought a house. They bought a house and like everybody had a room and it was like a main kitchen area or something, but they all bought it together and then they started working together. Hey, I got to work today. Can you keep my kids? Yes. Okay, you working tomorrow? I got your kids. But they all lived in this one house. Everybody had their own separate individual living space. They shared a common kitchen and living room. Their kids were growing up together. I don't know if I think these were a group of friends or some type of thing. Don't let your situation dictate to you your life. You dictate to your life what it's going to be. To your situation, how your life is going to be. This is what we're doing, right? I know it seems bad. I know it seems like you're never going to get out from the water and it's going over your head sometime. Girl, start just kick, tread that water. You're going to be all right. You're going to be okay. Shakema, how do you know? Because God did it for me. Why would he do it for me and not for you? I just don't believe I don't believe it's his nature. I just don't. I don't believe it. I used to look at other people going out to eat a lunch on Sundays and my kids and I could not go. We didn't have a dime and nobody was offering to pay. Now I can go to lunch with my children and I can take somebody else and pay for them too. On occasion. Not every Sunday. We ain't been nowhere. We ain't ate nowhere. We ain't went out. But I could if I needed to. I could slip a little right hand of fellowship in somebody's purse or something like that if I needed to. Couldn't always do that. But I kept going every single day. I get up, I put my earrings on, I put my lipstick on, and I just do what I gotta do. Is that everybody's testimony? It's not. But it's what works for me. It's what helps me. I'm not going to sit in this house and throw the goodness of God in his face. No, I'm not. Well, he didn't do that, but what he already did so much. He did that last thing. Remember that last thing he did? So I pull on those memories. Anyway, there's the budget, y'all. And a little sermonette for you. You're welcome. Anywho, I'm going to wrap up these budget things. I've got to put in my week so I know which dates I'm going to be spending money. I got to pay some bills. It's July 1st. Don't forget, Shakema, making myself a note right now. Pay your bills, girl. Pay them. Pay the bills. The thing about having a glass top desk, you can write on it and then erase it later. So I'm going to pay my bills. I am going to go get my walk-in. I'm going to wrap up my budget, just kind of sit with it a little bit and see if I need to make some additional adjustments to it. You can do this. If I can, you can. There it is, you guys, the budget. If you like the video, thumb it up. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't. Make sure you're getting those budgets done. If you don't do anything except put it on paper, put it on paper. You can do this. Love y'all. We'll see you next time. Bye now.